Hello my good friends, I hope you're all doing just fine. Welcome to the channel Digimon Explained. My name is Jesse, and in this video we have yet another extremely interesting Digimon made by a fan out there that I simply was extremely excited to show you all. Seriously, it has to be one of my favorite fan-made Digimon, to be honest. Yes, even if I tend to use the word favorite a lot. It's just that Digimon is so rich, it's hard to have just one favorite, okay? Alright, let me show you what Digimon I'm talking about. Just look at this. Look at the design, the armor, the colors. Are you going to tell me that this Digimon isn't like, I don't know, the final Digimon or the final warrior? Just look at the design, it's crazy. In fact, I was so impressed that I looked for the contacts of the author just to ask permission to show it. Something I admit I should do more often. It's just that when I send messages I tend to not get replies at all, and otherwise the answer comes years later if ever. But I simply had to get in contact with the Digimon's author, who by the way is called kai.magination. All the data to get to the author's pages are in the description box. There's the email address, the Instagram page and more. Please go and check out these pages, press its follow buttons and show support to the community. Speaking of, this channel is definitely also made to help the community. There is so much talent out there. Everyone should receive a platform to show their amazing work. So we're playing our part here. Let us get to the Digimon now. I'm pretty sure that it might be a bit hard for you guys to figure out who this Digimon is. That is, if you did not pay attention to the title of the video, which I know you did. If you haven't made use of the title, I believe it could be quite hard to tell because the colors are a bit different than the usual colors we tend to see in Digimon. I think the biggest giveaway we have to figure out the origins of the Digimon is by looking at the shield. You can see the digital hazard symbol on it, but you can also see the crest of courage. The digital hazard, while many Digimon have it on their body, I guess the most known Digimon who walks with this symbol would be Guilmon, or one of its Digivolution line. And this fan-made Digimon has indeed partial data from Guilmon, more specific, the data of Gallantmon, its mega level form. So we're briefly going to go over Gallantmon. Gallantmon is a holy warrior Digimon nicknamed the Crimson Knight, and also nicknamed the Sky-Conquering Armored Lancer. We can say that it gained itself quite the reputation as it was accepted as a member of the Royal Knights. They are a group of 13 mega-level holy warrior Digimon known as the digital world's sacred guardians, and are famed among Digimon as guardian deities of the computer network. And Gallantmon is one of them. It lives and fights with the dogma that one needs to remain chivalrous and loyal to its lord. Though I have to say something extra about Gallantmon, which explains why I always liked it. Sure, one has to remain loyal and chivalrous to its lord, however that lord might not always be very sane or might not always take decisions that are ethical. That was the case in the story of Digital Monster X Evolution, where Yggdrasil, who is Gallantmon's and the Royal Knight's lord, decided to commence Project Arc, where it effectively wiped out most of the inhabitants with the X program. Only a small percentage of Digimon survived, and only the chosen ones would be moved to the new digital world. Those who were not selected still tried to migrate to the new digital world out of fear of their safety, as the old digital world turned out to become uninhabitable and violent. So Yggdrasil called upon its Royal Knights to kill those foreigners. Omnimon showed absolute loyalty to Yggdrasil, but it was Gallantmon who was doubting. In fact, Gallantmon had to be the only one among the Royal Knights who showed a capacity for critical thought. And I think that alone says more than enough about this Digimon. I think that we're not taking that aspect of it enough into account. I wanted to point that out because when we're talking about a fusion, it is likely that it's not just the appearance that will be transferred, but also the data, or in other words, the personality and more. Speaking of appearance, Gallantmon is clearly a knight. With its lance, which is called Gram, it can dispatch strong blows. It can fire lightning bolts from it or even electrify its lance. And when it spins with its lance and its shield, it can summon fire, meaning that Gallantmon is a bit like Azula and the other firebenders in Avatar, who can use both fire and electricity. By the way, I always liked Azula. Gallantmon also carries a holy shield called Aegis, with which it can fire beams which purifies everything, and to be honest, what more should the shield be capable of doing? The fact that the shield is likely to be made out of chrome digizoid means that it is likely to absorb or nullify the blows of pretty much most of the conventional attacks that would come at it. And on top of that, it can fire a strong beam capable of purifying those at the receiving end. So really, Gallantmon as an individual certainly deserves its place among the Royal Knights, who make it absolutely impossible for anyone to violate security in their presence. So, our Digimon made by kai.magination exists partially from Gallantmon's data. That's why you can see the belts on its mids, just like on Gallantmon's mid. You can also see the mouth armor, which is typical to Gallantmon. Heck, you can also see Guilmon's face on the fan-made Digimon, however, that face is not red or crimson in color. It is yellow to golden, and there's a reason why. We now have to discuss the other component Digimon who makes this one. You see, by the crest of courage on the shield, obviously many would be thinking that WARGREYMON fused with Gallantmon, which would be close to the truth about this Digimon, but not entirely. Remember, we have already discussed how a fusion between Gallantmon and WARGREYMON would look like. We called it WARGALLANTMON or Duke Greymon. If you haven't seen the video yet, you can always find it in the description box. It was yet another Digimon made by us fans. Absolutely loved it. Another giveaway, aside of the symbol on the shield, would be the sword this Digimon is carrying, which is an unmodified version of VICTORYGREYMON'S Dramon Breaker sword. That's actually the name of their three-bladed greatsword, the Dramon Breaker. It is clear that WARGREYMON and VICTORYGREYMON really do look alike. There are some slight differences, but many could easily mistake one with the other. To be brief and put you up to speed when it comes to VICTORYGREYMON. This Digimon has been nicknamed the Dragon Warrior of Heroes. It's a well-deserved name, I would say, as it was created with a specific purpose. You see, Yggdrasil intervened in its creation by making it possess an evolutionary code that differs from Digimon that were naturally born in the digital world. And in this form, VICTORYGREYMON, along with Zidgarurumon, who was also born from Yggdrasil's intervention, became the Digimon Arbitrators. These are Digimon with an existence close to Yggdrasil and were created to stop said Yggdrasil if it were to ever go corrupt. So essentially, they were created to stop God. So, in other words, VICTORYGREYMON is not born naturally like all other Digimon. Yggdrasil really had to intervene and give it its own twist to give birth to VICTORYGREYMON and Zidgarurumon. When we look at the design, it may not have WARGREYMON'S Dramon Destroyers anymore, these same weapons who were designed to become highly effective on dragons. However, it does carry the Dramon Breaker Greatsword. I think that we can safely assume that the sword is also highly effective on Dragon Digimon, and if it is not the case, then know that the sword itself can be used not just to pulverize opponents, but it can also be used to take the energy in the atmosphere and concentrate it into the tips to be fired, and a greatsword can also be used to reflect back an opponent's attack. So certainly a godly sword that we can retrieve back in kai.magination's Digimon. Before we go back to the fusion, let me tell you that we have gone in depth over VICTORYGREYMON'S story. I will put the link towards the video in the description box. Make sure to check it out if you haven't already. So, back to the fusion. We weren't given a name, even if some called it Dukemon Victory Mode or Gallantmon Victory Mode, by considering the two names of Gallantmon. Another name might be VICTORYGALLANTMON, I guess. Anyway, the beauty of this design is simply crazy. The cape doesn't have holes, they look brand new, the armor is shiny and very metallic, no doubt they would be made out of chrome digizoid. The shield really looks heavy along with the sword, so I'm pretty sure it's a pretty huge built Digimon. And I love that the digital hazard has been fused with the crest of courage. It shows a true union between the Greymon line and the Guilmon line. The back is said to be working like a fan, so I guess it can get folded and unfolded. A little bit like WARGREYMON'S shield, which can also open up and close. In a way, the back reminds me of /Angemon, who has metallic wings and wings who can, open up and do all kinds of crazy and, I guess, slashy stuff. Seriously, if I could choose a Digimon partner, I think I might go for VICTORYGALLANTMON. I'm sorry, but it's really out there in my top fan-made Digimon. Just look at it. I don't think such Digimon would even be part of the Royal Knights. It would be the Digimon the Royal Knights would go to if things were to go awry. It looks like a leader, a commander, a final resort, a myth if you even want. Seriously, I absolutely love this design, and I'm really curious to read what you guys have to say about this Digimon. Too bad we did not get a story, so I guess we have to create one ourselves, but I mean, I don't know what to say. It's really one of the craziest designs I have seen. I'm going to send this video to kai.magination via email. I simply have to do it. Wow. So guys, again, make sure to check kai.magination's socials. I'm sure the author would really appreciate it. And don't forget to write your opinions down in the comment section, as I am pretty sure the author is going to end up watching the comments. So please guys, write your opinions. That way many could get the inspiration necessary to continue drawing this amazing work, and we can keep on promoting them in this channel. Make sure to like the video for the YouTube algorithm. An extra like means an extra viewer participation, which should in theory help the video to be spread around the world, and hopefully more people will then see this video and go to the author's pages. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Okay? We have lots of Digimon videos planned, so you better be ready.